This isn't just a heated moment in a Senate hearing, it's a stress test. Because when taxpayer money meant to help the vulnerable gets treated like a jackpot, that's not policy, that's moral collapse. And when the conversation immediately circles back to identity, who did it, what group, what label, something even more dangerous happens. The rule of law starts to wobble, but let's confront the reality head on. If we can't say crime is crime without hesitation, if we can't demand prosecutions without walking on eggshells, then the scammers aren't the only ones winning. And what you're about to hear next shows you why.
Some people in your beautiful state went to your state Medicaid department and said, we want some taxpayer money, some being state taxpayer money, some being federal taxpayer money, to feed the poor. And these entities that did that got the money, and then they stole it. But to help cover their tracks, well, before I go there, do you think those people should be prosecuted?
I think if there is reason to pursue prosecution, of course they should be prosecuted.
Okay. Do you think their ethnicity should matter?
The ethnicity of these people should not matter.
Okay.
Not a bit.
Now, some of these thieves also went to some restaurants and said, I need a fictitious invoice that you fed 100 people. You're not going to feed 100 people. You're just going to help me steal the money, and I'll kick back some of the money to you. Do you think those restaurant thieves should be prosecuted?
I think if they have committed crimes, they should be prosecuted.
Regardless of their ethnicity?
Regardless of their ethnicity.
Okay. You had some other people in Minnesota who had a different scam. They went to the Medicaid department and said, I need state taxpayer money and federal taxpayer money to provide services to autistic children. And they got the money. And then to maximize the fruits of their theft, they went to well, first, do you think those people who...
Same answer to the question.
Okay. Now, in order to generate more money they could steal, they went to some families and said, do you have children? And some of the families said, yeah, we have kids. And they said, the thieves said, are your children autistic? And they said, well, no. And the thief said, well, would you agree to sign paperwork to say they're autistic if we kick back to you some of the money? Do you think those families should be prosecuted?
Same answer.
Okay. And you don't think their ethnicity should matter?
Not a bit.
Okay. All right, Mr. Is it Hankerson?
Hankinson, yes, sir.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hankinson. Did I understand you to say that you have studied immigrant communities throughout the United States in terms of fraud levels on social services?
Not specifically, no. I've done visa interviews in many countries, tens of thousands of them, and I've looked at reports about fraud levels.
I misunderstood you. I'm sorry about that. It's been a long day. Mr. Beyer, am I saying your name right?
It's Mr. Beer.
Mr. Beer. I like beer better.
Most people do.
Tell me that, I think I heard you say that some people, some folks who've come to our country and are trying to get status to stay, have applied to the Department of Health of DHS, and they've paid money, and DHS is doing nothing?
Oh, that's right. Yep, they're sitting on their applications, not processing them.
That's a pretty bold statement. How many people? I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't know. How many people we're talking about?
About half of the immigrant flow right now.
So how many-
90 countries are affected by the State Department ban.
How many people is that?
Well, it's at least 300,000 abroad and probably twice
Okay.
that when you consider the
you're
people already
saying
in
that
the U.S.
300,000 folks have gone to DHS to seek some kind of permanent status or semi-permanent status to stay. At least 300,000, and they paid money to DHS, and DHS has done nothing. Is that what
That's right. Yeah, they're sitting on their applications.
Well,
or
who
they're
at
just
DHS is
putting
doing
them in the
that?
trash.
Who at DHS is doing this?
Oh, it's Joseph Edlow. He's
Who
in
is
charge of
Joseph
it.
Edlow?
He came up with this policy to just.
Who is he?
He's the head of USCIS. Joseph Edlow is the head of USCIS. He came up with this
He's
policy
at DHS?
where he is just.
Slow down a minute, man.
he's
You've
just-
had too much coffee. He's at DHS?
I'm just from New Jersey. So.
I understand. Great state, too. Who does he report to?
Secretary Noem, of course.
Okay. Does Secretary Noem know whether this?
I don't know what Secretary Noem knows, but she's aware of the general tenor of this administration.
What's his name?
Joseph Edlow.
Mr. Edlow. Who's his boss?
Secretary Noem.
Oh, okay. And you can document all this?
Oh, absolutely. They put out a memorandum saying we're not processing these people, and Secretary Rubio's involved as well when it comes to the State Department.
Would you send me that memo, please?
I will absolutely send that to you.
I went way over. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, John.
I appreciate that.
Senator Kennedy, I'm informed that USCIS is slowing adjudication because of the huge backlog and the lack of vetting of these migrants during the Biden administration is the reason that we've been given.
Yeah, I don't know. I just heard Mr. Beer, and I'm going to say he's right or wrong. Those are pretty bold allegations that they're taking the money and they're not doing anything, and I just want to know if it's true or not.
Well, they're making sure that these people are vetted, so we don't end up with people like the National Guards woman here in Washington,
Yeah.
D.C. that was killed by an African.
I don't have a problem with vetting. I just want to know whether what the witness is saying is true. No,
They're not adjudicating them. They're not
Senator Klobuchar.
Did you notice what just happened? The senator didn't start with a partisan slogan. He started with a principle. Money intended to feed the poor, money intended to help children, and the allegation spelled out plainly is that it was exploited through fake paperwork, kickbacks, and manufactured invoices. Now here's the first key point. He forces a clean answer over and over. Should criminals be prosecuted? Should ethnicity matter? And the witness gives the only answer a serious country can accept. Prosecute if there's cause, and ethnicity should not matter. Not even a little. That matters because it draws a hard line between protecting communities and protecting criminals. Those are not the same thing, and America has been pretending they are. Because let's be honest, the moment you say prosecute the guilty, someone will try to turn that into you're attacking a group. That's the game, and it's how accountability gets strangled. But look at what the senator is really doing. He's building a chain of logic that can't be escaped. If the money was stolen, prosecute. If restaurants helped, prosecute. If families signed false claims, prosecute. Same standard, same law, same consequences. This isn't just about fraud. It's about whether law still means law. Then the hearing pivots, and this is where it gets darker. A witness claims people paid fees to the federal government, filed for status, and then nothing happens. Applications sitting, money taken, no movement. Now, I'm not telling you to blindly accept every detail. Even the senator says it. Bold allegations. So what does he do? He doesn't grandstand. He interrogates the claim. How many people? Who's responsible? Who reports to whom? Where is the memo? That right there is what oversight is supposed to look like. Because if an agency can collect money and provide no service, no timeline, no transparency, no clear standard, then you don't have a system. You have a maze. And mazes don't stop corruption, they invite it. And then comes the competing explanation. Backlog, vetting, cleanup from the last administration. Fine, vetting matters, of course it matters. A nation that won't vet isn't compassionate, it's negligent. But here's the question everyone keeps dodging. If the system is too overwhelmed to process honest applications, how is it not too overwhelmed to get exploited by sophisticated fraud networks? If the excuse is, we're protecting the public, why does the outcome look like the public is paying twice, once through taxes and again through chaos? This isn't just government inefficiency, this is government credibility. Because the people who follow the rules watch this and think, why bother? The people who want to scam the system watch this and think, it's open season. And the politicians who should fix it? Too many of them are terrified of the conversation itself. But let's confront the reality head-on. Refusing to prosecute fraud is not mercy, it's permission. Refusing to demand transparency from agencies is not compassion, it's surrender. So here's why it matters. If we can't enforce the law consistently, without fear, without favoritism, without excuses, then the next scandal won't be shocking. It'll be predictable. If you want real accountability, share this. And in the comments, answer this. Should Congress require automatic audits and mandatory prosecution referrals for major public benefit fraud, and require USCIS to publish any adjudication pause memos in plain English? Subscribe, because what happens after this hearing is exactly where the story gets even bigger.